y'all, what's up? My name is Claire. If this is your first time to my channel, welcome. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. I post new videos at least 3 times a week, and then I have a variety of topics from makeup to lifestyle to beauty in general, and then fashion, blah blah blah, hauls, vlogs, you name it, we do it here. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I'm feeling a little weird about this hair today. Normally my hair is like really big and like bangs and all that stuff, but I did kind of like a sleek back look using coconut oil and hairspray, so whatever. But today's video is just a simple chocolatey brown smoky eye. It's so easy to do, not many steps, not many shades of eyeshadow, and I'm not going to sit here and blah 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 for a long time, but I'm going to go ahead and show you how I get this simple little glam look, and we're going to go ahead and get started. I haven't moisturized my face, and if you can't tell, I just got out of the shower, so let's just ignore that. But I'm going to put on some of the Photo Finish Primerizer. It's a primer and moisturizer from Smashbox. And Influencer sent me this, and I've been using it quite a bit before I put on my makeup if I don't use my Origins ginseng gel. And then I'm also going to go in with a little bit of the Laura Mercier Foundation Primer in Radiance. Y'all know I've been filming with this a lot lately, and I use this just, I got way too much on my hands. I have the other hand is covered. But I've just been using this just because I like the way it makes your skin look. And although we used a dewy primer, I'm going to be using the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Full Coverage Foundation. I really do love this stuff. It is a matte foundation, but it works really well. It's super full coverage. It's long lasting from what I've seen. You've heard, like, if you watch like Casey Holmes, she lives by this stuff. Now, if I were to go to like Disney World for the day or something, I probably would not wear this because it does start to fade after a few hours if you don't like prime it and set it the proper way. And I do notice it kind of leaves my nose, which is like the main area I lose foundation anyway throughout the day. If you're just having like a normal day, or even just like, you know, going out with friends or whatever, and it's not like a huge deal if it starts to fade, this is perfect. That made it sound like really bad, but it really does stay all the time. I'm just saying, like, if you're going to be sweating, that's what I'm saying. If you're going to be sweating, probably wouldn't be wearing this, but if you're just having a normal day, that's fine. Because, like, when I go to Disney World, if you watch my vlogs of that, we stayed 17 hours in one park, and that was just a lot. I was, like, blending out all that foundation, and it got all over my hoop earrings, so if you can still kind of see it, just ignore it. I'm going to clean them off when I get done. I just always like to put foundation all the way back, like, almost like touch my ears with it to make sure everything looks blended and stuff. And so for concealer today, I'm just going to highlight and put concealer on with this Born This Way concealer. I've really just been loving it lately. The Shape Tape's always probably going to be my favorite, even though this one like doesn't seem that much different from it. Like from the applicator to the formula to how long it lasts and everything. I gotta admit though, my skin has been very, very clear lately. Honestly, you see all these like skincare routines and all this stuff, but I'm a believer in like the less you do to your skin, the less that's gonna happen. Just because every time I've ever used like tons of like moisturizers and serums and cleansers and face masks, my skin always breaks out. But when I'm simple with it, it just seems to be really clear. But you know, one day I may come on here and be a total hypocrite and be like, this is my skincare routine, and have like 15 products I use every day. But everybody's skin's different. I guess mine's just super sensitive, so that's why I can't use a lot of stuff, because I break out if I use stuff, but some people break out if they don't use stuff, so it all depends on who you are. Every part of me wants to try a new setting powder, but I just can't make myself do it. So I'm going to go in with this Laura Mercier translucent setting powder. It just works for me, okay? It's perfect. It makes my skin feel so smooth. So I'm just going to put that on with that same beauty blender. And so I'm just going to set all that concealer and then also go around and touch the foundation with whatever's left on my sponge. I'm going to go ahead and go off camera and do my brows. I'm going to go ahead and fix this whole situation before we start on the eyes, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I just filled in my brows, and now we're going to go ahead and do the eyes, because while I was at it, I went ahead and primed my lids with some of that concealer and then also set them with that powder. So first step we're going to do is just kind of not carve out the crease, but just kind of do a transition-y shade. And I'm going to go in with something kind of light because we're going to go in with a heavy dark eye. I'm going to go into this shade in the Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette, third one from the top. I'm just going to kind of fluff that in the crease with a big fluffy brush. And this is going to be like a rounded look today. Because it's basically just going to be a chocolatey, smoky eye. That's probably what the title of this video is gonna be. So for the main chocolatey shade, I'm gonna be using something that I haven't used in forever on this channel or in real life. But first I'm gonna take this flat brush and spritz it with some primer water from Smashbox. And then I think I'm gonna go into the Laura Lee Los Angeles Nudie Patootie palette. Again, like I don't even think of it. This palette, when I first got it, I thought it was great, but then these two shades literally just fell out one day and I had to push them back in. But I'm going to try to go in the shade Buff right here. It's like a glitterly, I like that name. I can name a palette that. Palette's kind of old. I've had it since last year. But I just want something that's super chocolatey. I was either going to do this or the one in the Jaclyn Hill palette. But I literally use that palette every single day of my life. So I wanted to try something a little different. But I'm just taking this flat brush and making sure it's covering the whole lid. And yeah, it doesn't look great right now, but we're going to blend it into the crease in a second to where it makes it look like smooth and whatnot. I think I'm going to go into that shade right here, Nakey, the dark brown shade right here. And I'm going to go into that same brush I used a hot minute ago, and that fluffy one. And we're just going to kind of blend it from where this Buff shade ends into where that Jaclyn Hill shade is. There is a bit of fallout on my face, but I can wipe that off. So I'm going to go back into that Buff shade and make sure we didn't cover too much of that glitter with that Nakey. So they're very chocolatey and brown. This is exactly what I visioned in my brain. So I'm really happy with how it turned out. I think, and I'm going to add a pop of like highlight in the inner corner when I'm like towards the end. But let's go ahead and finish the face. This has been like such a quick little look that I'm doing, but I think it's going to be really dramatic and pretty when it's all completed. So I'm going to go into my Ever So Loyal Hoola Bronzer by Benefit. This is like my go-to. I'm just going to contour all around the face. I wish I could like come up with a new makeup routine, but it's like when something works, it works. And so that's why it's hard for me to like venture out. I'm going to contour the nose. I'm going to go ahead and use this the highbrow brow highlighting pencil from Desi Perkins. I forgot to do this when I finished my brows. It just kind of like makes your brows look a little bit more sharp. For blush, I'm going to go into a shade I haven't used on here in a while. It's the Tea Rose Tickle shade by Sephora. I have had this stuff since I was like in high school, honestly, which I don't know if blush like goes bad. But this stuff is just kind of like a mauve-y, deeper blush, and I thought it'd be pretty with this eye look. And because I've been so horrible about finishing my lower lash line, let's go ahead and do that before we do the highlight. I'm just going to go back into that Buff Shimmery Deep shade and just going to kind of line the bottom lash line. And then I'm going to take it with a brush that has nothing on it and just kind of make sure it's not super precise. You know, like sharp looking. I want it to be kind of like smoothed out. I'm also going to go into the shade Reveal right here. It's more of like a nudie brown. Kind of matches the first shade we used in the Jaclyn Hill palette. And just kind of put this a little bit lower to kind of buff it and make it look a little bit how the top does, you know what I'm saying? So now I'm just going to go in with this Victoria's Secret eyeliner. It's just like a black eyeliner. My Perversion pencil that I normally use is like kind of drying out. So I'm going to have to go buy some more, which I'm really sad about. But that's like an essential for me. Y'all know that. So I'm just going to line my waterlines and then do a thin line of this on the top. So that way when I put the fake lashes on, they'll kind of look a little bit more natural. So I'm going to go do that. Let's go ahead and put on some mascara. And then for the lashes today, I think I am going to go into the Miami lashes. Or either the, what are they called? The House of Lashes, the Iconic Lights. I love those lashes. I think they're like kind of dramatic, but they're kind of thin, so it doesn't look super chunky and like overly fake. You know what I'm saying? Lashes are on, very dramatic. I went with the Miami lashes. But now before my camera battery dies, as it normally does, I'm going to go ahead and highlight the inner corner of the eye because can't forget to do that. I'm going to try, this palette is just like falling apart. Going into the shade Spark in this palette. I remember when I first got it, I really loved it because it's super blinding. But let's see how it is now because it's looking a little chunky. I'm just going to kind of pop that in the inner corner. Since I've been doing YouTube, I've kind of gotten more knowledge on makeup, so I kind of know like what actually is good and what actually isn't good. This palette, I heard there were like some defects in like some of them, and I don't know if I just got one that kind of just decided to fall apart. But okay, this is pretty. It is very pretty. It's going on really chunky, but if you kind of like smooth it out, which I shouldn't have to do, it goes on fine. But I'm going to kind of put that on the brow bone too a little bit over that little creamy highlight we used. I'm going to go into the ColourPop Super Shock Cheek Highlighter, and this is in Smokes and Whistles. I really love this highlight. It's kind of like pinky. So I'm going to take a brush and I'm just going to spritz it before going into it. I just find that makes it just look so much better. And then we're just going to go on the cheeks, cheekbones. I've been on a nude kick lately, so I think we can't really do a pop of color with the eye look that we're going, but I'm going to go into the Maybelline lip liner in the shade Beige Babe. And then for lipstick, I'm going to go into Baddest Beige by Maybelline. Jaclyn Hill got me like using this. I don't know if you understood what I just said. I said Jaclyn Hill like talks about how she loves this, and it honestly is really pretty. And I'm also going to go on top of that with the Coco K gloss. And this is in Dang Gina. Spritz. Okay guys, so that is it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you liked this simple little chocolate smoky eye using very few eyeshadow shades and then my basic face makeup that I normally do. Also, I'm feeling a little self-conscious about my hair. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on those post bell notifications. I think that's what that's called. I've never said that before in a video, but go ahead and do it. So yeah, I'll see y'all in my next video, and have a great day wherever you are, and bye! Mwah!